Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting, my zero audience that is telling me I have right here. Cool. That's always fun. Anyway, uh, so I was thinking the other day, about how we kind of get off into the weeds. We don't necessarily always stick to strict recovery topics, but I'm wondering if that's part of the downfall of AA. You get an hour to share, and it's kind of this unspoken rule just because of the way the meetings are run. And you go to a meeting and you learn, okay, this is how this goes. And so you're thinking, you can't really get into anything outside of sobriety, or being clean, whether we're talking AA or NA. But how does that create connection? How does that, you know, create a community? And I don't know. I just was thinking about that might be one of the things that made it not work for me, you know, sticking to these certain rules. It's like if anybody talked about anything when they were sharing, and you only get like a certain amount of time to share, please keep your sharing down to a minute or 30 seconds or whatever, and I mean, there are people that actually keep a clock, stopwatch going, and hey,
Hey.
hey, and I've been to those meetings. And yeah, so I don't know. It's just like, how do you're sharing something that's really personal, but you're not getting to know anybody really, because all they're sharing is, whatever. If it doesn't have to do with sobriety, they have to throw in some platitude. I'm grateful for my sobriety today, you know, just to stick to the rules, so to speak, you know?
Oh,
And,
oh,
yeah.
interesting.
And so, I don't know. I was just wondering if that's one of the things that made it not necessarily be something that was going to work for me. Hey, a Rolling Stone. Hi, Henny. Hi, Kristen Melinda.
Hey, hello.
Good to see you.
Um,
War stories. Oh my God, I hated the war stories. People that talked about, you know, all they all that they got down and out into, and talking about their drinking, and some people actually glorify their drinking and using days.
kind of like glory day stories, like the football
Yeah,
quarterback from high school kind of deal.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of
Oh.
disgusting. I'm being honest.
I could see now, in all fairness, I've not been to one of, a meeting like that, but I could see how if you don't have connection and all you're doing is just kind of talking about this or that or following the rules or trying to or listening to someone else's war story, I can see how that could be detrimental. And then I've heard a lot of people get hit on. So that
Yeah.
doesn't exactly sound conducive of anything.
Tuna!
Positive.
Hey!
Hi. I'm trying to pull up I had my comments up and then my computer just went "Bleh."
So
There.
Haney says it's National Women's Day, or Happy Women's Day. You are a special and unique and fun, all around wonderful woman. Happy Women's Day to you again. Happy Women's Day to you, Hanny.
I didn't know that today was
Yeah.
National
Hey,
Women's Day.
Misha.
Hi.
Bad day over here. Gonna be listening, but my migraine makes it so I can't read chat. Okay. Ouch. I'm sorry. So yeah, so because I'll be honest, I kind of stress about how we don't necessarily stick to a recovery topic.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if that's all we did, that would make us no different than AA. And all going to an AA meeting used to make me want to do is go out and drink.
Yeah.
It did.
And I think, I mean, now I don't, again,
I mean, and
Um,
I'm not trying to cut down AA, and I know that AA works for some people,
right, right,
and
right,
it just wasn't gonna work for me.
right. Well, and I think too that, if all we focus on,
Honesty.
like, this is maybe a bad example, but if you let's take my dad for example. Okay, when he had cancer, and we knew it was not going to end well. We didn't focus on the cancer. We
Yeah.
focused on trying to make memories and have fun and get through it. Now I understand that addiction is not let's make a bunch of memories necessarily, but
Mm,
I think if you've got something big going on in your life and all you're doing is focusing on that, then that takes over your life. And that's not healthy either. I think
mhm,
you need to be able to, I think part of recovery should be learning how to handle things in a healthy way, how
mhm,
to function in a society where you don't make those choices, maybe seeing
mhm.
examples of people who don't have the same addictions as you and looking and going, okay, well, what did they do? And can I use that? And gathering a lot of knowledge because the world doesn't stop. Like you have to
Yeah.
learn how to function in it, just like
And
coming out of
it
a cult.
yeah, you do.
You have to learn how to function in it when you're coming out of an occult or an abusive
Yeah,
marriage.
yeah,
You can't just stop and constantly be that. At some point, I think for me, it's got to be put behind you. I was in that, but that's not where I'm at right now. Now
mhm.
I don't know. Maybe that made no sense whatsoever because I'm kind of talking about, but to me, learning how to function in it
I
is important.
appreciate what Krista Melinda and what Rolling Stone are saying. I feel more comfortable sharing personal stuff with y'all, partly because I know more about y'all than
Yeah,
just fiction. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And how are you gonna find a sponsor if you're not getting to know somebody outside of you know, their sobriety?
yeah.
Because you have more going on in your life,
Hmm.
as a rule, than just getting sober. You know,
Right.
I know we have a multitude in things of common, just not just that. And then
Hmm.
Rolling said, I see this as a group that focuses on sobriety and mental health and positive support no matter what we're going through. Well, thank you. I appreciate that because that's what I want. That's the community that I want to be a part of, you know? And
Community. Look, you guys, I had to get an actual like I couldn't get a little saucer. I had to get like a side salad plate.
at the end of the meeting, they all did group hugs. The main sponsor there literally, ooh, yeah, I remember you saying that one. I can't even say that. Ew, greasy asshole man never went back. Yeah, I bet you didn't. Gross is has mana,
Mhm.
in the words of Rigel Dominar of on Farscape. It's a Farscape thing. I've been binge watching Farscape.
Hey, that's all right. That's good, right? We got to do those things too sometimes.
Hi, Miss Sunrise Dawn.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Henny's saying this is so much more than a recovery channel. Yeah, this is laughter, which is important, so important.
Oh, yeah.
Support, ideas, brainstorming, so many topics here with recovery also. Right on.
Yeah.
Feel that I'm just a baby out in this cold, cruel world most of the time, except for when you come in here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have that issue, rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria. Right on. Yeah. And
Well, wait a
I felt a lot of rejection in AA because
really.
I was a brand new baby Christian and I was all about Jesus and I was all about,
Mhm.
and that's all I wanted to talk about.
Huh?
And they're like, "Oh, it's supposed to be the God of your understanding." It's like, "Yeah, I understand that Jesus has done some stuff for me,
Right, right,
and I
right.
can't I can't just, anyway, at the time, that's where I was,
Hmm.
you know, and
Yeah.
I was always getting chastised and, darn near asked not to come back, you know. I don't think anybody actually came right out and said it, but they said enough to kind of, hi,
Uh,
Gypsy Daisy, good to see you.
hi.
I mean, that's one of the things I was using because of fresh out of jail, ready to conquer the world. Yeah. Feel like that sometimes, Misha.
So I was wondering, can someone
Trying to
explain
stay
to me,
positive no
because
matter
I
what.
don't know what rejection sensitivity dysphoria is, because I
Yeah, I don't
see,
either.
yeah,
But
I see is
I can, is it like a fear of rejection? Like, and just an automatic thing to where you know, you're automatically going to get rejected by everyone you come across?
Mhm.
Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah, because I see Izzy E says, "Oh, Miss D, that's a tough one and rarely discussed. I deal with pretty intense RSD myself, and so often I am stuck playing the is it the AD or ADHD or is it the trauma
Okay.
state?"
Okay.
Okay, so Miss D says yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, Izzy.
when you Plant Freak says is when you experience severe emotional pain because of a failure or feeling rejected. This condition is linked to ADHD, and experts suspect it happens due to differences in brain structure. Okay.
And I wonder, like, if there's a level of rejection and abuse and trauma that can literally rearrange the brain pattern. Because
When
that's how it felt for me when,
yeah.
after I'd been so many years away from my brother's abuse, and then it came barging back into my home,
Hmm.
from out of nowhere.
Well,
And
in our
and I do felt like my insides were rearranged. The
yeah.
bruises healed after a few months, but
Right.
that wasn't going away,
Mm-mm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd become isolated that now that I am desperately seeking friendships, but I need training wheels kind of patience though. Yeah.
Well, we can
Right,
be your
right on.
training. Oh, you can
Yeah.
come in here with us in conversations. I mean, you do great in the chat. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I
fun.
enjoy y'all's company a
Yes,
lot. I
yes.
do. I
You guys all have so much to offer.
when
Uh,
I first logged on, I saw a zero in the next to the eyeball. And I'm like,
the party,
"Oh,
you're like, wait, where did
this is
everybody
no fun."
go?
And then
Yeah,
everybody showed up. I knew you guys would, but
right.
still, you had that split second of a
Right, right, right. Where you just kind of, you're like, do I turn the camera off and maybe start again in 5 minutes? Gotta just talk to myself first.
I definitely try to do that. I know it's all about how to do that I see results with. Makes me feel good for it's has its own set of struggles, but I would rather that than anything else. I always feel like I fail. Yeah. I can I can relate to that. Like,
Mhm.
I have had times in my life where I felt like literally everything I put my hands to crumbled.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Yeah.
And that's such a hard, like a difficult place to be, because it's hard to get yourself out of that, to see those, to reframe it and to see those little victories that you do have, because you are being successful at something, but
Mhm.
it's so overwhelming and it can be so all consuming.
RSD is when you experience severe emotional pain because of a failure or feeling rejected. This condition is linked to ADHD. Experts suspect it happens due to the differences in brain structure. You had already read that. Uh, I'm catching up here.
Okay.
Still fighting my tendency to isolate. Yeah, Rolling Stone, that's a tough one.
Mhm.
It's an easy habit to get into and hard to climb out. It's a hard place to climb out of. But you're here, and I'm so glad you are. So that's something.
You're showing
Is-
up.
Is that where people seek out safe types of rejection so they can desensitize and get better? Zelda says AA worked well for my daughter. I used to go to some meetings with her and I noticed there were a lot of chicks and some would feel left out. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can see that.
Mhm.
Jen
Mhm.
Marie, hello.
Hi.
Misha says, I thrived off the abuse of my husband at one point. At least it meant I belonged, that he was so incredibly taking ownership of me. And I always craved that. The more he abused, the more I felt like I existed and mattered. Sick how I did that for so long. Wow, Misha. But that's real. That's real. It is a sick, twisted way of feeling wanted, you know? Mm,
Well, and
of
it's
feeling
a
someone taking ownership.
yeah, and it's a sick, twisted way for someone to be able to treat another human that way, you
Yeah,
know? Like, and I
yeah,
mean, that's a hard thing to realize when you're working through the abuse that you suffered at the hands of other people. Um, Sometimes the realizations about ourselves are very hard to realize. And, I'm so thankful that you are not in that situation anymore.
yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm thankful that you had that realization, as difficult as that was, but I'm thankful that you got out. I'm thankful that you're here.
Wow, Izzy Ease. RSD manifests itself for me as intrusive feeling of stealing the oxygen of someone who deserves it, of occupying this space that someone could have benefited from. Oh my God, Izzy. I have struggled with that. It's been a while, but I have. I what I eventually came to was I'm here. I need oxygen. I don't have a choice but to breathe it, deal with it, you know? I'm here and not in a sugar coma. Oh man. And plant freak, Mish, I understand that. The Oh wow. Okay, Ms. D, that's making sense. Yes, the anxiety popped up about the subject matter. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. And a Rolling Stone says, I never even heard of RSD, and now I think I might have it.
Mhm.
You chatted about this the other day. Yeah. Hi there.
Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Hi.
Oh, hey,
Hey.
Sharon
Hi.
and Jen. Good to see you guys.
Hi.
I
We just we just wanted to pop in for a minute and ask if we could get ones
One
and
for
thoughts and
Steve.
prayers with
Yes.
the morning, please.
Yes.
Where
100%. Yes.
where are you and how are you and things?
We are at my place, sitting on the couch. She's working on her resume, and I was working on I edited down Tommy's live to when he was talking directly to Steve, and I sent it to Vicky to what do we got here? Misha, hi honey. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, that was my finger. Sorry. Um, I sent the last 7 minutes of Tommy's live when he's talking directly to Steve, so
Yeah.
that Vicky could play it for him, and then she
Yeah.
just answered me and said that he wants her to listen to it and tell him what it says. I don't know. I think that that's because they just gave him his meds and he's
Yeah,
loopy, so he's kind of afraid of being too emotional right now.
or he
She's
might be able to not hear and
Just might
read.
be a little bit too much. I mean, he's fighting for his life. That's
Yeah.
where he needs to stay focused.
Yep, yep. And right
So
now, so he's just with he's got Vicky and Tanner and Tanner's girlfriend. So it's
Tanner is Steve's
his younger,
son.
the younger of his sons, and
Yeah.
her parents had been there, and
His
then
sister.
his sister showed up for like 10 minutes. And then Tanner's best friend, Alex, who's like a part of the family,
Mhm.
came for a while. It was really great to have everybody together. But Sharon and I made a decision that, that it was time to just let the family be alone.
Yeah.
Did they call in the family?
I'm sorry.
Did they call in the family?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
There was a palliative care nurse
Yep,
who talked to everybody
yep.
and just kind of prepped them.
Okay, so
Oh,
it's just
man.
okay. I wasn't sure the point that it was 2. I was kind of
Okay,
trying to
so
sort that out.
he's septic.
Yeah.
He has sepsis.
Yeah.
They never should have sent him home Tuesday, but that's nothing can be done about that now. Basic,
He's they're preparing for end of life. We still want a
That's
miracle, and we still, it's not over yet. He has not he's still on his oxygen. He's not removed that yet. So he's, still going. But obviously he was a little uncomfortable, and that's why they gave him the meds, and they said they would try and keep him as comfortable as possible. Steve
oh,
was coherent earlier, and he was able to tell the doctor that he was okay with having a breathing tube if necessary. But I think they might have made some
but
other
only
decisions.
only if
It was
wasn't,
temporary,
only if it wasn't permanent.
just temporary to help him breathe. But it's he has to have his oxygen right now, otherwise it dips too low. So it's really up to Steve at this point in time, as to whether or not he keeps fighting or whether or not he lets go.
okay. That's kind of when I heard the Tommy live, I had certain feelings. And then I was like, wait a minute, you don't know anything. Don't read between the lines. Wow. Oh, so much love for Steve.
Yeah.
And Vicky, is she holding up okay? I mean, what do
That woman
She is a rock.
is a rock.
Oh, my
I
God.
mean, but she's been, she's also been leaning on me and, her parents, but bless their hearts, they're in their 80s, they're 85 and 88 years old,
Yeah.
and they all live together, and it's really beautiful family. And Vicky she is a warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's so strong. She pulled the palliative care nurse out and told her everything that was going on, that he had an advance directive, and the hospital lost it. Like, they've made so many mistakes that it's very anger inducing, but I can't
Yeah.
feel any anger right now. I just feel
Yeah.
love. I just feel love for them. And
Yeah.
The whole focus has just been on Steve. What do we need to do? Kind of what do we need to get things done? And she's just kind of had that focus. Now that it's just been her and Tanner, I don't know if that's come down a little bit. But I would imagine so. But she's still trying to be strong with Steve
You know,
because he
I
doesn't want to
had
go.
I had
So
my mom. They had turned my mom over to palliative care when she got a pacemaker switch out, and the hardware got infected.
yeah.
yeah,
And
his LVAD line has been infected for months.
yeah.
Mhm.
And when they came in with the chaplain and said that they were turning us over to palliative care, I really debated, do I tell mom what's going on or not? I mean, and how do you tell somebody that they're facing the end of their journey?
Right.
I finally decided to tell her, and I saw terror wash over her. She just looked terrified. And then I watched her bow up and like without words say, "Oh, hell no." 82 years of age,
I will say this.
you know?
I I
And
was
she
in
she
the
lived another 10 years. Sorry,
okay.
you'll say
I'll
this.
go for that. I'm 100%
Yeah.
for that. I will say right before we left, um, this is why I felt comfortable to leave. And also when it's time to get out of their way and
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
be alone.
yeah.
Um, we were Sharon had texted Tommy. He's like, hey, or called Tommy, and he's like, hey, I'm live. Turn on the live. We didn't know, like, who's
Yeah.
paying attention to your phone. I was in the room, and it's ICU, but it's like the serious ICU, so it's curtains, and not even like a door or whatever, like, and and Sharon's just standing just outside of it, and I was in there with Vicky Tanner and his girlfriend, and the nurse asked him, "Do you want us to? You have two options." She said, we can continue on the mask and see where that takes us. We can't do I can't remember what it's called, C word, but the tube, the oxygen tube,
Oh, the
it wasn't getting enough oxygen.
Cannula,
Yeah.
cannula thing.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. But that wasn't working. But then there was the option of going on the ventilator. But he had said only if I'm gonna get off it, right? And then the next thing she said if you want to now, if you want to, I can do this.
Okay.
If you want to now, we can take the mask off. It'll probably you probably won't make it much longer than an hour. We'll make you very comfortable. And our sister said, no, he chose because he's fighting him.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's the most important thing I think that I want to get across is that
he is still fighting.
chose to fight.
Yes, he is still fighting. So
good. I
even
mean,
though
I'm
there's
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that he's going through that. I hate it.
Me too.
But even though he's got palliative care, he is still fighting. And you never know. You never know. Tommy's got everybody. He's got his own people, his own prayer circles going, and you never know. Things happen. And
Like I said, my mom lived another 10 years after that. And
Linda said,
they had basically called on her.
yeah. Well, that's what Tommy said. They called him from jail and said, you need to say goodbye to your dad. And he's like, hell no, I'm not done with you yet. And he lived another 7 years. Because Melinda was septic and he came back from it. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible with the right medications and stuff.
Right.
I think feeling like the medications they're using aren't really working anymore. So I don't know if they don't have a strong enough antibiotics or what the deal is, but
Sepsis is very difficult when there's other underlying infections. It makes it even harder.
Yeah.
But listen, here's the deal. If anybody can okay, now I think I'm just like mini Tommy now.
Yeah. Well, we are.
No, I love that. I should. What was I saying? I'm sorry. I'm so tired.
No, you're okay. You were saying that talking about that, you're gonna pull a Tommy now, and
if anybody can pull this off, it's Steve Molesky.
Yeah.
If anybody can pull a miracle out of a hat that's not even there in the room at the hospital, it's Steve. I've never met anybody like him before in my life.
Right.
Adore him and Vicky, and they're wonderful, wonderful people. So, if anyone can, it's Steve. And if any couple can get through something, it's them. But it's right now, it's just, we just had to excuse ourselves out of respect and come back here. I was not in any, obviously, kind of still not in any condition to drive, and we weren't sure that Tanner was going to stay. So we took Sharon's car back to my place, but I live, less than 10 minutes away from the hospital. So my car's still in the parking lot. We can go grab it whenever,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Um,
We'll go back probably in a few hours
Yeah.
and just check and see, we'll check with Vicky before we go, but
yeah.
Yeah.
we'll hopefully
So when,
hopefully still have a good update by Tommy's live tonight.
Yeah, that
so
would be
when did
great.
they find the sepsis? Was that today they found
Today,
it?
yeah.
Today.
Okay.
They were leaning towards that last night. But they got the two definitive results today that it is sepsis.
Yeah.
And has all of his family been by?
Uh,
Has all of his family been by to see him?
is
His oldest
Yeah.
son has been trying to clear his work calendar, I guess, to get down. So he hasn't been able to make it down yet. So I'm not sure what the story is, where he's sitting there, but he's trying to get down.
Vicky's family is Steve's family.
Yeah.
So yes, his family's been there, and his sister did stop by. So
Yeah.
that's what he's got. Other family, but Vic, just leave it at Vicky's family is Steve's family. We are Steve's family.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
it's just one son who's still trying to get there, and
I feel bad for Ty. I don't. It's got to be driving him crazy to get down there.
Yeah, and
Now,
I'm sure that
where's he at? Is he far?
Well, they live an hour and 20 minutes away from downtown Detroit, which is where the
Yeah.
hospital is and where I live.
Okay, okay. So his
Yeah.
oldest son is an hour and 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe by this evening, even if he had to work all day, that he could get down. And I have no doubt that Steve's gonna fight at least till then.
He will hold on as long as he possibly
Yeah.
can.
Oh, I
And
was
Yeah.
just kind of trying to
Yeah.
see if there was, maybe any way I could help in some way, if there was, somebody closer to here, or just anything that I could do to help. I mean, I don't even know how far, to be honest with you. I have no idea how far I even am from
you
Detroit.
are
Where are you?
You are 8.5 hours away from Detroit.
Oh,
Okay.
so
They're in Baltimore. Her and her husband are in Baltimore.
Okay, got it.
And I know Christy, that's one of my favorite towns, so I know exactly how long it is between. Yeah, it's like between 7 and 8 hour drive from Baltimore. You're doing what you can do to help right now.
Yeah.
I Sharon had left it up to me on whether or not I wanted to pop in. And then I was in the chat and I saw your faces and I felt comfortable enough to and to just give everybody an update, because I'm really not able to reach out to everybody right now.
Yeah.
And Vicky is doing all of her communicating through me. That was her choice, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Because her focus is on Steve, and that's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
They've been married almost 30 years. And
I know, that's amazing.
Just in love as
And
they were
they're so in love.
Yeah.
I think she deserves as many prayers as Steve. I mean, I know Steve is fighting for her life, but with being married, I just couldn't imagine Michael going through something like I can't imagine what that was.
No.
Like,
Steve's been in and out of the hospital like 5 times since the beginning of the year. So it's been real difficult. Vicky's then had to travel down all the time, and that's where Jen's come in. It's just she's picked up the slack where Vicky's had to do things in Flint and just couldn't be down, and Jen being so close has been able to be with Steve, and so that's been a real godsend.
Right on.
I call it being her surrogate body. Because like when the doctors and stuff call in, I'll be like, doctors just walked in, and then she'll call me and I'll put her on speakerphone. Like I update. I've gotten very used to just the updating, and then I always was able to bring Steve his yogurt and Jello and Powerade Zero, and sugar-free cookies. One time he tried to get me to bring him a Coke. Well, actually, Monday he tried to get me to bring him a Coke, and now I wish I would have done that. I would have done that Coke on Monday, but that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for him. And I'm not any kind of superwoman, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a friend and I live close.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
No,
did I know him before my first visit to the hospital? No, I didn't. That was last year. It doesn't count anymore.
Yeah.
That's my brother now. You know, that's my
Yeah.
brother. And I would do this for any of you.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that any of you would do this for me. And
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I think we'll end there, and just thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Miracles do happen, and
Yes, they do.
we'll just
Yeah.
keep holding out
We're just
until we
gonna
start.
and yeah, like Zelda said, I hope that he knows that we're with him.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
he does.
Yep. And I told him that what had gone on the boat too before, and last night everyone was pulling for him. So because Jen's been keeping me updated. So yeah.
I'm sending you
So
both a lot of love
Thank
and
you.
gratitude and thanks. And if there's anything, I mean, everybody needs support that's around him, not just me. So sending you guys love and prayers too.
thank you. We appreciate you guys so much.
I
So
love you.
love you guys.
You guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Glad to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh. Do you guys want to take a minute and
I want to
maybe
take a minute.
breathe and collect ourselves? Maybe drop into our heart space and just kind of close our eyes for a moment.
And yeah, I mean, I want to just hold them up,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Let's take a moment and lift them up. Let's just drop into your heart
However,
space.
however you do that, we're just
Yeah.
gonna do that
Yeah.
right now.
How are you feeling about all of this?
I'm glad to know he's still fighting, but I'm sorry that he's having to go through this. Maybe Vicky did bring him his guitar. Yeah. Then we'll need one of Christy's funny stories.
I do have a funny story about the GPS that happened today.
Fire away.
GPSs need a little button on the bottom of them, like when you punch in your thing, and it should say, "Do you know where you are?" Because here's my thing. It tells me I'm in the parking lot, and it's like, "Go northwest toward Frederick Boulevard." Okay, not only do I not know what direction northwest is because my car does not have a compass on it, I have no idea where Frederick Boulevard is. So I'm in the car and I just pick a direction. And I'm like, I figure it's going to reroute me, right? But I think if it had one of those little things on the bottom that's like, "Do you know where you are?" Then if you clicked yes, like if you're in your hometown and you're just trying to find the new store that opened up, it could be like, "Go toward Walmart on Shields," and then you would know where it's at. And if you click no, I don't know where I am, then it could be like, all right, chick, you need to go behind you, like this northwest. The only time I have a sense of direction is when I'm in Colorado and the mountains, and I know they're typically to the west of me. That's it. Other than that, I have no direction. So that's my funny GPS story. Like it needs to just be like, do you know where you are? So yeah.
Steve Sherman, you had somebody requesting requesting your presence on the screen. Let's see if I can back this away and get us both in here.
I'm here.
We're having to really pray for Steve Molesky. He's septic. He's been out of the in and out of the hospital 5 times just this year.
I know he's really had it rough.
And so we're all praying, however we do.
Where are you? A bookstore?
No, that's my kitchen.
That's the kitchen.
I'm in a hotel room in Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah.
I can almost hear.
Here.
I get an ear thingy.
This is my kitchen. I'm in a hotel room in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm back on the road with Michael.
I knew that. I knew, but y'all found a better hotel then than the other place.
Oh, so much better than the other one. And we have free laundry, so I don't have to hunt down quarters anymore.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, they were just inviting you not to use the machines at the other place.
Yeah.
Yeah, or not to even stay there. Like, I can't even get my laundry. Like, and I ended up in a really bad, like one of those parking lots that Tommy's talked about. I accidentally ended up there. And I was like, oh, this is what he's talking about. We're getting out of here. The dog with me and everything. I'm like, oh, no.
We played a gig once in Missouri, and we went to get a hotel room. We all needed to get a shower. And the hotel room was not much bigger than a king-size waterbed with enough room to walk around to the shower. And it rented by the hour.
Oh.
And this is Knoll, Missouri. And we played this river gig at the River Ranch, but they wanted to play on this floating pavilion. And we just said, man, we can't do it. And they wouldn't let us play on the beach where there was a covered pavilion. Right. So we kind of didn't get anything. We got to stay a night for free, but we didn't get a gig. So we were eating at this restaurant called Jose O'Malley's outside of there. And my brother was talking to the kitchen manager, and he said, maybe you can play here. And we got a gig there that night. And it kind of paid for all of our expenses. I mean, which wasn't much, just gas money, because I think it was 100 miles there. But we all plugged into one outlet, and we had to go back in the kitchen. We put a penny in the fuse, and we turned our equipment on one piece at a time. And
you had amps and pedals and everything, all just one at a time.
But we only had, at that time, I probably was 100 watts, 200. I mean, we were probably running the 25, 30 amps of that one breaker. I mean, every bit of it. So it had been like a DJ dance floor booth area where we set up. And at one time it had been nice, but out of about 6 outlets, one was left. So, I mean, we had 2 sockets to choose from.
Oh gosh. And a motel room that you rented by the hour.
Yeah. It was great. Yeah, that was a while back. That was in the 90s. It was 4th of July weekend. And apparently across the river, there was kind of 2 factions that didn't like each other. So about 12 grown men in their 30s had probably 10 gross of bottle rockets each, just threw them at this other campground place that they hated. For half of our gig, that was entertainment for us. It was really kind of awesome.
Right? Michael's done
We
that. He's launched bottle rockets that they've
Oh
passed
yeah.
off sites. I'm like, really?
I know. What
How
were we
I say,
thinking? We
please don't do that.
we did Hotel California about 4 times that night by request, and knocking on heaven's door 3 or 4 times. It was quite a. It was like the Blues Brothers gig without the chain link fence between us and the crowd. So other
Oh,
than that,
man.
Oh,
Zelda was requesting for you to play something on the guitar for
oh,
everybody, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
I don't know anything to play, but
are there,
I'll prepare something one day.
there
I
you
will.
go.
Oh, tonight I just worked on stuff a while ago, so I've got practice tonight at 7, so
Mhm.
I just limber up. I
There
really
you
am a part player. I know my part of the song. By myself, I'm kind of like hearing one track of a recording. It
Sometimes it's
doesn't really
easier though
compute.
to just learn your part, like, because even those can be complicated on some songs, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like it's not always easy to just know your part.
Well, some of my songs have chords, that spread 5 frets, and you're moving down the neck, and you can't just translate that or teach that. So you just have to nail that, and that's all you
Yeah,
get to do.
yeah, you gotta work that out. Yeah.
And
Oh boy.
anyways, not all of them, just a one or two in particular.
Well, but yeah,
We
that's some movement though,
It
you
is.
know, down that front.
One day I'm winning Publishers Clearinghouse, and then I'll have time to practice. That's what I tell myself anyways.
Right?
And the
Hey,
lottery and Powerball and Mega Millions if I'm
just
gonna
win
do
it
that.
all. There you go. Hey, that would be
That's it.
amazing.
At least 5 numbers. I'll take all 6, but if I could just get 5 in a row, I would take that too.
Yes, there you go.
Does
Definitely.
Baltimore have the lottery?
I think so. I'm not really ever, anywhere to see anything. I get really focused. I'll tell you what they do have is potholes.
I bet they've got some winners.
Oh, it's bad in the vet. Like it's one of those, like if y'all have ever driven a low car and you've hit a bad pothole and you like go
Oh yeah,
and you
because what are the
apologize to your
tires?
car. Yeah.
30s or 20s? I mean, what are the tires? An inch tall or half an inch tall?
Oh no, they're I think 19 and 20, 22. Is that right? They're staggered, so the back tires are bigger. But I want to say the front one is like 19. I mean, the car is literally this far off the ground. Like
Yeah.
it's so low, and even hitting the manhole covers in the road, like when we leave here, he's gonna have to get. I mean, seriously, he's gonna have to take it in and make sure his shocks are okay.
I bet so.
It is just so even in the Acadia, it's bad. Sometimes the higher up you are, the less you feel it. But there
Right.
are some that I think if you hit too fast, man, I'm pretty sure it'd flip your car. And I'm not exaggerating. Like
Oh,
it's
undoubtedly, I believe you.
bad. It's bad. And we ended up in the inner city of Baltimore walking around
Was it
and I
nice
looked at
roads there?
oh, it was just amazing. I tell you
Yeah.
what. I looked at Michael and I'm like, "We need to leave now." And he's like, "Well, you're with me." And I'm like, "I know, but I'm also walking a dog and somebody could grab me. Like, let's get out."
What's gasoline in inner city there? $5, $6 a gallon?
No, I think it's I didn't really pay attention. I think it's like $3 or $4, but what Michael has to put in his is about 5 or 6 because of the engine that he's got, he can only put the like 93 or higher in. So
Yeah.
I think he's paying about 5 or 6. I got just one of those low gas cars and I buy the cheapest gas possible.
My car, I put 91 and 93.
Yeah.
It's supposed to take 93 and get 22 or 3 miles a gallon, but it's been tuned for such cheap gas that at 93 I get bank 1 and bank 2 too rich codes.
Oh.
So I run 91 now.
See, I don't even do that. When I had my Audi, I did, and the BMW, but the Acadia, I'm just like, but in Kentucky, it was hard to find gas stations that even had some of that. Like, 'cause some of them would only
Right.
have like 83 and 87, and
All the way
so
around. That's it.
yeah. So it's good to be back in the real world. I get excited about it, Like,
Right.
hey,
Yeah.
I can go to Sprouts and buy more organic
Well-
food, and I have not seen anybody in line with 16 24 packs of Mountain Dew and logs of bologna. So I'm so happy in my life
That
right
is
now.
good. Did you ever get to see the Turtle Man when you were in Kentucky though? Didn't you want to see the Snapping Turtle guy just once?
No, what is that? I don't even know what that is. What do you
A
mean?
reality guy. He was. They called him Turtle Man. I think.
I don't know if it was on Animal Planet Discovery or one of those.
Discovery or one of those.
But he was called the Turtle Guy. He would go and like if people had critters or something, he'd get into their house and get a raccoon or a possum or armadillo or
Or a
snakes
nutria or
or a nutria or
yeah.
anything. But he was known for getting like those big alligator snapping turtles that weigh like 75, 95
Yeah.
pounds out of
He-
ponds.
He looked so happy about it every time he did. It's like, look at this.
He didn't have the look on his face I would have had.
Yeah.
Gosh. No, I didn't even know about that guy.
Yeah.
That's
He was
crazy.
kind of a one-hit wonder, but the turtle guy, yeah.
He's probably up in some holler somewhere that I probably wouldn't want to go up in.
Probably. Nobody's coming after you up there.
Right?
And then he
Gonna go-
hunts ginseng in his spare time. Oh, I'm kidding. I don't know. But
Well,
maybe.
I do know that is a big thing in Kentucky, like a really big thing to hunt that down and sell it.
Even
Yeah.
here, if people know where it is, sometimes you'll see it and someone go, that's ginseng. It's like, that's what it is. There's a ton right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was a big thing. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I would have, depending on what holler he was up in.
Right.
I was gonna go lay flowers at Michael's family's grave because they're at the, sorry, my nose is running. So you've got the mouth of the holler is the beginning part of the holler, and then the back part of it is called the head of the holler. And I don't know how they came up with that. That's just what it's called. But it's toward the head of the holler. So it's like the end of the holler, like the worst part. So I was gonna go lay flowers, and Michael's like, don't do that. Don't do that. They will kidnap you and put you in a basement, and I will never see you.
Oh, funny.
I was like, okay, well, we won't do that.
No.
So, oh no, Miss Summer's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
What happened?
She's on her way back to the vet with the cat and don't know if he'll be alive when I get there.
That's sad.
Baby, little baby kitty, come on.
Oh,
You can do it, little baby.
Cats are tough.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think they ever truly domesticate. I just think they tolerate our lifestyle.
Oh, that's what Shitty Kitty does. She sits there and judges everything. She just like lopes up and just, just, what
I mean,
are you doing?
we can't have a bird feeder because of our 2 barn cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not really barn cats. They have a whole shop over there to themselves with little cushy plush blankets and pillows and
they have
stuff
2
in
barns and
that
a shed.
occupy chairs and
Well, a 1,200. I guess it's about 800 or 1,200 square feet in there that they can full of junk. I mean, it's not really much floor space.
Well, but they like to crawl and hide in things. So I'm sure
They do. The
it's
guinea
added to them.
busted a window last year, got in there,
got
and
inside there.
it wouldn't spook out. It tried to spook out through the window, and it's like, no, go this way. And he kept hitting the window until he busted it. And then I was fixing it, and Carol loves this story. And she hollers at me in the barn, are you going to help me do the waters? Something was bad. she said it with a lot of emphasis. So I turned around, and a piece of glass that I'd had 2 pieces of glass, I'd used a Dremel and a stone to make them fit the window perfectly. And I turned around and it fell out of the caulk and busted. So I had to go buy 2 new window panes to fix. So I was extra
We can
happy
laugh about it now, but neither of us were
Right.
laughing at that
Oh
time.
my God.
because it's a storm window. It's got a window inside and then it has a storm
Yeah.
window outside.
Right.
So I was
Oh,
fixing the inner window.
uh-huh.
The stupid guineas. And they echo so loud in our barn. The roof is insulated and the walls are, so it compounds back into your ear.
And see, I don't even notice it anymore. I'm so used to it.
Right.
It's
Oh
like
my,
a screech owl and somebody yelling "suey" right in your ear. It's terrible. It's
oh man.
I complain because I love them so much, but
Well, Now, do you
it
have
is.
to go back to work tonight, or are you done?
No, I don't have to. I'm done. I
Oh,
worked
right, you said you had band practice.
16 and 16, but I have band practice, so I'll go there for 7 to 9 and then come home,
Okay.
and then I'll really crash.
Right.
I'll sit in the chair and fall asleep and then wake up and go to bed. When I work up the strength to go to bed.
Right. I can share this because he's not home, but Michael, when he snores, sometimes he wakes himself up, or sometimes he wakes up the dogs, and then the dogs start barking because they're not sure what the noise is, and then he's like, "Shut up!" And I'm trying not to laugh because I'm
And it
like,
starts over.
It's you. It's you."
That's good.
No, it's you.
My mother could snore loud enough to wake herself up.
Isn't that funny? My grandpa did
And
the same thing. So did my mom.
and
It
she
was
would
like
be in
that.
a recliner watching TV and we'd be sitting there listening to it. And she'd wake up and realize that she woke herself up, which
Do that.
I
She
have
don't.
done. That's a really weird dream too, because you hear a sound and you don't know what it is, and you wake up and it was you. I mean,
My
dreams are
mom.
strange anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, my mom, when she gets really tired, she snores louder. So the more tired she is, the worse it is. And there was one night her and Michael were snoring, and it was like dueling snores. So I recorded it.
Oh, I bet that's good. Did you make it your ringtone?
Oh, no, I just played it back for them, and they're like, my mom's like, "That's not me," and Michael's like, "I don't sound like that," and I'm like, "Oh no, actually, that's you, and that's you."
It was good.
Oh man, they were not happy with me for a good couple of days. They're like, "How could you do that to us?" And I'm like, "Well, you both insisted that you didn't snore. I mean, so I was
It's the
just."
only validation you'll ever have.
And it made me happy in my soul. I know it was mean.
No, that's a validated happiness. That's just the way it is.
Kind of like dueling banjos, only snoring.
My oldest brother had that soft palate surgery where they try to cut some of the palate so you don't have as much
Yeah.
amphitheater to vibrate or whatever it does to your mouth to keep it.
Right.
And now I
Oh,
guess now they just do CPAPs, I think, on people that snore.
that's a whole thing too. Um,
It really is.
like that's a whole other thing. I mean, goodness.
I don't want to have one.
No. No, me either. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
And I'm probably too cheap to ever go to the doctor to find out, and unless I fall asleep driving or something and find out that I have to have it. But otherwise,
Don't you-
I won't do that. But I'm pretty cheap.
I mean, it's okay.
Huh? Oh, I'm pulling on Carol's earphones. I think I'm breaking them.
No, you're just breaking me.
But
Oh, nice.
anyways, I glue my shoes back together until they won't glue back. Not my main shoes I wear, but like I have a pair of barn boots, and then I have an extra pair of barn. Well, I glue the extra ones, and they're more inner tube than boot.
Right.
But
Nice.
they're just shit shoes. I mean, sadly enough. So
I want to say Tommy just popped up. He put a heart. So they were talking about if Tommy does a meetup in New York, I want to go to Boston and then go to the theater. And Kenny said when he comes to New York, we'll meet up for sure. And then the lifeboat put up a heart.
That'd be awesome.
Our little lurky Lou. He's a lurky Lou.
Well, y'all have a zombie on screen. I fell asleep and I'm leaning over and my chair gave out its lean. Did y'all see that? That was my on-screen antics for you guys, just for
There
y'all.
you go. There you go.
My Arkansas word of the day, y'all.
Y'all.
Do people say y'all in Kentucky?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
All
sure they
y'all.
did.
Yuns. We get yuns a lot. For that.
Yuns.
Yuns.
Yuns. Yeah. Yuns.
I got
Get
yuns
up
in my
there.
hometown growing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a southern thing, I guess.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Or pitiful. That was one I had to learn. That's another funny one. I thought I understood what pitiful meant. You know, I was like, oh, until I was really pitiful one day. I mean, I was pitiful. I hadn't washed my hair. I was crying. My face was so puffy. I had on like a t-shirt and sweatpants, and I had gone into Walmart and I just couldn't keep it together. I could not. And this woman that I did not even know come over and she goes, "Oh, honey, bless it. You look like you need a hug." And she just put her arms around me, and I'm not a huggy person. And I just started bawling into her shirt. She had a wet spot, and she goes, "Well, you're just plumb pitiful." And I'm like, "Is that what that means? Is this is pitiful?" And she's like, yeah, you're pitiful. And I'm like, okay, now I know what pitiful means.
Oh my.
Before I just kind of thought it was like a little, like, oh, no, I didn't realize it was like, oh,
It can be, I guess. I learned
yeah,
something too today.
yeah. So you don't want to learn how to be pitiful from an old granny in Walmart. I mean,
Mm-mm.
like, oh boy.
Especially in the South.
Oh yeah. And they don't give you an opportunity to escape the hug. They're taking it.
Yeah, there's no escape.
Mm-mm.
No, that getting invited to church. I've never been invited to church so many times as when I lived in Kentucky. I was like,
Right?
do I have a sign that says newbie on me somewhere?
Well, there's got to be at least 11 churches if the town's got 1,000 people or more.
Yeah, and they're all on a corner. Like,
When
yeah.
I grew up, a preacher's son, like our little town, the Baptist church, the Methodist church, the Catholic church, and the Assembly of God right there.
Yeah.
A block or two
yeah.
away was the Church of Christ. And then, I mean,
Right.
the town only had 600 people.
Right.
It's 6
Yeah.
churches.
Yeah.
For those of you who are new and haven't figured it out already, this is my husband, Steve. He used to be on a lot more in the earlier days of the channel 6 months ago.
Now I'm tireder. I think I killed this headphone.
No? Oh.
You tell me.
So, Miss D, she says, hold up, I'll see if my broom will
be
fire
fine.
up. I
I'll
love
be
that
back.
comment.
I gotta get up. I'll be
And
back.
Okay.
I can't move.
Miss Sunrise Dawn says she's at the vet. They picked the carrier and all to that.
Isn't it 1:30?
Matrix Rabbit, hello.
Hey, Matrix Rabbit. Let me get my microphone back here.
Miss Sunrise Dawn said she's at the vet. They took the cat carrier and all to the back, so I'm not sure if he was still breathing.
Miss Sunrise Dawn, I'm sorry your kitty's sick. Nothing is more heartbreaking and more helpless feeling than your pet's being sick.
Yes, yeah, because you can't explain to them what's going on, or and
yeah. Ooh, well, I'm kind of like played out.
yeah,
It was an emotional meeting.
Yeah.
He's only 7. He just has to be okay. Yes, he does, Miss Sunrise Dawn.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
feel
Well, how does everybody feel? Feel like we've had a meeting, or two if you're still needing a meeting in the chat, 3 if you feel like we've had a meeting. Just think of it as 2 still need to dump. 3 is part of a heart, I'm good kind of thing.
Mhm. It's odd that Michael's not home yet.
Well, just got here, Matrix Rabbit. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
If you know Steve Molesky, keep him in your thoughts, your prayers, send out good vibes, whatever it is you do. That's kind of what we've been doing the last part of the meeting, besides Steve talking. Aw, thank you, Gypsy Daisy. It's been a really emotional week, Henny. I'm sorry. I hope it's
Yeah.
been, some of it's been good emotion. Ooh, panic, but nothing anybody can really do. Yeah. Well, sounds like the kitty's where he or she needs to be. Poor thing. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Our sick babies, sick fur babies. Well, what do you think, how do you feel about doing a meditation?
Yeah, if you guys want one, absolutely. Yeah, we can do a quick little one. Um, let's just do a nice grounding one and sending out love. All right. So everybody, go ahead and we're going to drop into our heart space and we're going to do some box breathing and then go into a little guided meditation. So go ahead and just relax. Go ahead and roll your shoulders and roll your head and give some good breaths to just kind of relax. And then go ahead and drop into your heart space. Whether that is putting your hand on your heart or imagining a small version of yourself dropping into your body and going into your heart center, sitting in all of the love that you have. We're going to do 3 box breaths. We're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale completely till all of the air is out of your lungs with a sigh. We're going to do 3 of them. Go ahead and breathe in, hold, and exhale. Breathe in, hold, and exhale. Lastly, breathe in, hold, and exhale. I want you to imagine that we are on a nice sandy beach. The sun is getting ready to go down and we're standing around a bonfire. And the mood is one of needing to just get grounded and send love to those who are in desperate need of it right now. So as we all circle around the bonfire, we take each other's hands, squeezing just a little extra tonight in compassion and love for the person whose hand you are holding. I want you to take a moment and feel your breath in your body. Feel the rise and fall as you breathe in and as you exhale. And then I want you to take a moment and feel your feet on the floor, on the ground, on the sand, and what that feels like. And just imagine roots going deep into the earth. And this time, instead of releasing something, you're pulling from the earth the energy to just be okay, to be able to get through the rest of the day, to find a little bit of strength and comfort. Now, I want you to close your eyes in this meditation and take a moment to focus all of your thoughts and your love to Steve,
Yes.
toward Tommy and Q, Miss Sunrise Dawn and her fur baby,
Yes.
Vicky, and everybody else who's going through something right now. Those things that they don't speak up. I want you to take a moment and muster up all of the love and light, prayers, thoughts, send it out on the waves of the universe, knowing it's going to get exactly where it needs to go. And then I want you to take a moment and imagine going around and hugging each and every one of us, feeling that exchange of energy, of love and support. And when you are done, open your eyes. Great. So sorry that cut a little short, but I hope it was helpful.
Yeah.
It's on a positive note. All right. Well, you guys, every one of you, take care. And
You too.
sending all of the love and thoughts to Vicky and Steve right now. To
Yes.
Miss Sunrise Dawn, and sending it to
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And so, yeah. So you guys have a good night. And
You
I will talk
too.
tomorrow. Thank you.
Love you, Christy.
Love you too.
Sunrise Dawn, I'm glad your parents are there to support you and support you with your daughter. He's home. Yes, he is, Zelda. Guys, I had been working on something for Q for a while now. When I heard what happened yesterday, I shared those PFPs so we could all stand in solidarity and support for Q, Tommy, and Q's mama. Yes. Yes. Thank you for that, Misha. Yes. Okay. Well, it's great because we're, sending out all that we can in support of Steve and Vicky. Love you too, Henny. You guys, let's just keep on praying, vibing, good thoughting until we see the miracle. Yeah. Love you guys. See you next meeting. And until then, very much peace, y'all.